Smart people dare to be different.
How does it feel to walk on the corridors of power?
It takes some time to get used to it. I mean, I'm sure that for the first 2-3 months after we had been elected and sworn in, I still thought it was a dream. I didn't believe that we're in reality, honestly. There's one story I like to tell when I went to a corporate dinner that was given by Unilever. And I was the guest of honor. This was, I think, on the 9th or something. We had been sworn in on the 7th. So 2-3 days after we had been sworn in, we had to go for this corporate dinner. And so the chief executive of Unilever gave his speech. And then the guest of honor, who was the vice president, was supposed to give his speech. And so they said, yeah, now they were inviting the vice president to come and give his speech. I had quite forgotten that I was the vice president. So I kept sitting, you know, and I was waiting for Alhaji Aliyu Muhammad to walk up to the podium. And then it's Mr. Ishmael Yamson, the chairman of Unilever. He knocked me in the ribs and said, they are referring to you. They're calling you to come and give your speech. And then it dawned on me, I remembered that I had been sworn in as vice president just 2 days earlier. But for the first 3 months, it was like living a dream. But quickly, the responsibility dawns on you. You go around the country, you see the people, you see the challenges, and you have to give it your all. I've grown more gray hairs in the last 2 years than in the rest of my life. Indeed, my whole hair is gray. My uncle doesn't understand why I leave my hair gray. He thinks I should apply a dye to it, but it's not something I fancy. Even with the gray hair, some people still think I'm a small boy. If I dyed it, I'll look even younger. So I just leave it as it is.
How about the children? How did they?
We try to keep the children out of it.
No, I mean, when they heard that their daddy is now the vice president, what was their reaction?
Their reaction was, I mean, surprised. JC came to me.
That's the last boy.
The boy, yeah. Yes. And asked me, he says, Daddy, they say you're the vice president. I said, yes. What is that? I mean, what is the vice president?
You can't understand, he's only 6 or 7.
Well, you have to explain to him that, you know, every country has a president, and the one who is assistant to the president and helps the president is called the vice president. And then, of course, he has many other questions, you know. But I try to keep them out of my political life. We shield them from public view. They just do everything as normal kids. And I think they're okay. It hasn't got into their heads. I mean, if you didn't know it, for most of them, they'll mention to you that their dad was the vice president. The children have varied interests. The elder one is doing law, which is what I should have become, I guess. I was cut out to be a lawyer, but at the time we were in school, we didn't have good guidance and counseling. Actually, we didn't have any master who was in charge of guidance and counseling. And so we were supposed to refer to our parents to choose the subjects we wanted to do. Now, when I was in sixth form, I was naturally cut out for the arts. I liked all geography, economics, history, government. I liked all those subjects very much. And I studied maths only as far as it would get me a credit to pass. I studied enough to pass mathematics.
In other words.
But it wasn't my favorite subject, you know. So when we were selecting our subjects, I mean, most of my friends, at that time it was fashionable to do BSc administration, BSc administration. So most of my friends were choosing BSc administration and things, and without guidance counseling, I followed the fashion. I chose BSc administration.
Followed the crowd.
And then for that year, I was 1 point outside the cutoff for BSc administration. And so they didn't take me. And my second choice was law. Now, I was 1 point better than the cutoff point for law, so naturally I should have been taken without any question. But that year, the law faculty said that, I mean, if you didn't choose law as your first choice, don't take you, because they wanted people who had a primary interest in studying law. So they didn't take me, so they passed on my form to the arts and social sciences, and that's how I came to study history. So I majored in history for my first degree, and I think that that's what makes me who I am. when you study human beings over time, it gives you a profound understanding of where mankind has come from. And so it makes it easy for you to understand what is happening in the present and what will happen in the future. So history has been very, very good for me. Then it's because I did history, I decided to do some professional course in addition. That's what led me to communication studies. That has made me a communications person. Okay. And then in doing communication studies, when I went to do my special postgraduate program in Soviet Union, I did social psychology in addition. And social psychology is the study of human behavior. So you do history, you do communications, you do social psychology. That is what has made me who I am. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't do law after all.
So is that the reason why you are very calm, gentle?
I think it helps.
Gets angry?
It helps.
So let me say you are partially a historian?
Yes, because I think that everything we're doing today is history for the future. We're acting out roles that will be recorded in the future. And if you look at the time span that mankind has taken to progress to where he is, it gives you a very high level of patience, you know, for human society.